are at Market Force Financial Services Conference, 6 March 2013 in London. I'm with John. Hi John, how are you doing?
Hi Christophe, really well.
Yeah, from RSA, the RSA Group, insurance. You've done a great job as part of a panel discussion this morning about social media strategy. So could you please talk us through your strategy in a nutshell, and then we'll deep dive on a few key topics of social media in insurance.
So we're on a social media journey at the moment. We have pockets of really good practice across the world, and we've got other countries that are either not doing social media at all or at the very early stages. So what we're trying to do is bring some cohesion and some structure around all of those countries so that we can share best practice and we can put a framework in place that enables the overall group to benefit from the actions in each market.
So we're talking about 33 countries, am I correct? Yeah.
We operate in 33 countries, yes. There's probably about 9 that are our high priority for social media, and we're looking across the broad range of each of those businesses. So from marketing, customer service, recruitment, corporate communications, communities, innovation and collaboration.
Okay, that's your 7 streams there.
Exactly.
Great. We're talking about social media framework, strategic framework per se. So that's centralized, that's group level, yeah?
Yes.
How does it work in terms of engaging with the OEs, the organizational entities, the countries, and have them start somewhere and start using it ASAP, yeah?
What we're trying to do, what we're suggesting to all of the countries is these are the 7 key areas of the business that we think social media can have the greatest impact. We know that they're not all going to be relevant for each market, so you in Canada, in Brazil, in Sweden, say these are the ones that are the real priority for us. Develop your plan as a cross-functional team. That's really important to get people breaking down business silos and working together to come up with a social media plan. And then where we'll really sort of turbocharge it is we'll take the subject matter experts from, say, recruitment, and we'll network those people globally so that we can share best practice across our entire organisation.
So let's insist on that just a moment, right? Social media is a broad term, as we know. It could be anything from collaboration internally, social business, and I'd like to insist on that now, but also social customer, crowdsourcing, gamification, all the good stuff, yeah. So social business is clearly one of your 7 kind of approaches, right? Streams. So you've got some kind of internal online community whereby people share the best practices, positioning on social media, the success stories as well. That's what they do at the moment, by function.
We're developing that this year.
Oh, you're developing, okay.
So at the moment it's relatively informal networks, but we are implementing software that will formalise that and create the online hub where people can place interesting articles that they've seen, project plans that they've developed, case studies that they've developed, and then share those. So yes, that's where we're heading to. So
it's informal now, but it's going to be more formally in the very near future. Good, yeah. Ownership, we said like the group level's got the framework, you empower your entities and you urge them to use it, or part of it. What about ownership at local level or country level? And we talked about or cross-functional teams, right? So who owns social media in a country at RSA Insurance?
There will be a regional lead in each country, and then there will be workstream leads that are the subject matter experts for, say, recruitment or customer service or corporate communications. So there is one person ultimately on the hook in each country, but then subject matter experts, and they will network with their counterparts in other countries.
Worldwide. Okay, informally now, for the moment, yeah. In terms of social media, there's 2 things, ownership and accountability. We need some kind of measure success, and there's content as well, and daily engagement.
Yes.
So, do you have like resources internally? So I'm talking like a capability here. Did you have to train people or recruit from outside the organization?
We've very much grown from inside the organisation, so from an accountability level it goes right up to the group's chief executive. The group chief executive has mandated that this is the right approach and the way that we need to go forward. And we have a global steering group that comprises our HR director, our IT director, chief marketing officer, one of our regional chief executives, but we also have a graduate trainee on that group as well, so that we get fresh and younger insight as well as just people that have been around the organisation for a number of years.
So that same person is a part of the same conversations with the senior execs?
Exactly. So she's 6 months into the organisation.
Not too bad, actually. That's quite a good job.
On our graduate system, and sits round the table with the finance director, HR director.
Wow.
But we're very much pulling together teams of people that have got a passion and an enthusiasm internally and giving them the skills rather than going outside of the organisation and bringing people in.
Okay, and you found that that's working quite well. People are eager to do it from an employee's standpoint, to participate in social channels?
Yes, I think it's like you drop the stone into the pond and it's the ripple effect. So if you can get some evangelists that are really passionate and enthusiastic in their local market, then they can start encouraging and generating more people that are going to be involved in this. But rather than sitting in a head office and saying, this is what you must do, find those evangelists and get those evangelists to start building the network. Okay,
yeah, that's your best bet at spreading the word and convincing internally as well by demonstrating. Personal branding. It's a very important issue or topic in social, right? Can you empower your employees and or your agents and invite them or urge them to engage online? So what's your policy on that actually? What's your approach?
Our policy is that we, particularly from a customer service perspective,
and we'll talk about Sweden in a second. I think you mentioned them as a case study or success story. Sorry.
Yes. So we very much take it on quite a pragmatic approach to this. Okay. So yes, we want to open up social media platforms to our people, but we need to do it in a way that doesn't expose us to risk of either data leakage.
Of course.
So we will select a ring-fenced team of people that require social media tools for their job and open up those platforms for those people. So it's not to say that it's really around where's the greatest benefit for the organisation and empowering and giving people the tools to use social media platforms in the appropriate way, rather than just necessarily saying we've got 22,000 people across the world here, free for all for everyone. It's much more controlled than that. The
tools, meaning tools enabling compliance as well, and
yes,
like there's a set of tools, lots of providers are providing those kind of solutions for insurance and banking.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Good, thank you, just last two things. We talked about social customer care, and you mentioned, I believe, Sweden as a good example of how to reduce the volume of inbound calls, if I'm correct, and focus on what matters most, selling, for instance. Or could you please, just in a minute, talk us through that and how satisfied you are?
So Sweden's really an interesting example for me because most of the customer interaction comes via Facebook. So from a UK background, I'm used to customers contacting us via Twitter if they want to raise a complaint or they want to ask questions about their policy.
In the UK, that's okay.
In Sweden, it's very much via Facebook. So we've taken a team out of our call centre. It's 5 people. They work more or less 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, handling customer queries via Facebook, and it's reduced calls to our call centres by about 10%. And it's the types of calls that are simple administrative calls. So it frees up our call centre people to do more selling of products.
So 10% you managed to reduce in Sweden, yeah?
Yes.
Did you implement some kind of FAQs 2.0, so like a community-led, frequently asked questions, which grow and become more and more intelligent based on the customer feedback and recurrent questions?
It's more one-on-one conversations.
Okay.
So if it's a simple query that we can answer there and then, we'll do that. If it's a bit more complex about their individual product, we'll take them offline because you clearly can't, for privacy issues, can't have those conversations in an open forum. But the general, I don't understand this type questions, we can answer those immediately on a one-on-one basis there and then.
Okay, well, that's great. 5 people like dedicated to that.
Ring fence dedicated. Wow. That's all they do.
And what's your position then on Facebook and customer care? Is it better to do it directly through the wall, with an open wall? Do you have a dedicated tab, an application? What's your views on that? Or did you start on the wall and you might think somewhere down the line to do something more sophisticated? Is there a value?
Via the wall for me is better at the moment. Particularly, I think that the interesting dynamic is increasing number of people that access Facebook and other social media platforms by mobile devices. And the danger of creating tabs is that they're not immediately visible on mobile devices. So via the wall has benefits from a usability perspective. Also from being an open and transparent organisation, there's benefits from doing it in a very upfront way like that as well.
Okay. Oh, it's interesting, you've got banks doing that, like RSA Bank South Africa has done that for years. You've got banks in New Zealand, they created some kind of virtual branch, they call it, on Facebook via an app. BPI in the Philippines did that as well. I mean, so you've got different approaches to customer care on Facebook. And last but not least, we could talk about it for hours, you understand that, so I know you're busy. So thanks for your time again. Innovation, which means, again, so many things, but that's clearly one of your key streams, right? Your 7 streams for social media.
Yes.
What are we talking about? Is it like product co-creation, crowdsourcing, or which type of innovation is included in your stream there?
It starts off internally.
Any exclusive you could share with us would be greatly appreciated.
So it starts off internally by harnessing the intellectual power of our internal network to innovate.
Like an innovation lab internal, like
yes,
yeah.
Yes, but the medium-term game for us is to innovate collaboratively externally as well. So be that with end customers that buy our products or services, or also business providers. So we sell a lot of our insurance is sold via an insurance broker. So engaging the broker in, right, we're looking to improve the service for our auto insurance customers.
Yeah.
Brokers help us come up with the ideas for that.
In a public manner, that would be, you see, potentially, or that would be still in kind of an extranet / secure environment with your brokers? Ideally, if you think big. Yeah.
Well, we do it a little bit at the moment in Canada, and we do it very much via a closed LinkedIn network.
A closed LinkedIn network, okay. So you make sure like people involved are the right people, are the tied agents, or
yeah.
Okay.
And we find that they can be more freer and open with their views because they know it's in a controlled environment.
Again, you see different approaches to that in banking or insurance. There's banks who try to launch an open innovation platform like First Direct, like
brilliant.
CBA in Australia. They've done that as well. So, but again, some banks say, well, wait a minute, it's open so everybody can see it, so why couldn't a competitor piggyback on? But anyway, it's all about opening and innovation now. Okay, thanks a lot for your time and your answers. The brokers and agents, is it your role as an organization, an insurance firm, to empower them, which means to give them the ability to be better at social media, generate more leads, prove their leadership, and then grow their business and sell more of your products?
100% yes. They're trusted business partners of ours. If we can bring our expertise and their expertise together, empowering them, enabling them, educating them, informing them, it's got to be beneficial for both businesses going forward.
John, thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.